best compliment I think I ever felt like I received was someone said, "Oh yeah, you opened the door. You opened the door for the rest of us."
Chef Robert Del Grande was one of the original chefs that worked to create a name for Southwest Cuisine, working alongside the Texas Department of Agriculture and local Texas producers to take Southwest cooking to the next level.
Now, the one true part of the story is my girlfriend at the time, who I'd met at University of California, Riverside. She had moved to Houston. Her sister and brother-in-law had opened Cafe Annie, and I thought, hey, this could be fun, you know, kind of just a little break to do, because I had studied cooking so much, you know. And so then really it is true that one thing leads to the next if you don't think about what you're supposed to be doing.
As he became more invested in the cooking field, a group of chefs naturally formed that wanted to make Southwest cooking more widely known.
We naturally thought, well, you know, Texas is a big place. We should have our own piece here. And I was heavily influenced by Mexican cooking, and all those ingredients would seem interesting. The people sort of lived here, so I was sort of tinkering around with it, and then Dean Faring in Dallas and Stephen Pyle. So everyone was sort of tinkering around with the same idea.
Although they were working towards the same goal, it took food writer Ann Lindsay Greer inviting the chefs to Dallas for a lunch to get the movement started.
Ann Lindsay Greer, who again didn't have a restaurant, she was a cookbook writer, so she tended to be more on the press side of it, I think. She said something to the fact that, you know, you're all better off going at this together than separately.
The Gang of Five, consisting of Robert Del Grande, Stephen Piles, Dean Fearing, Ann Lindsay Greer, and Avner Samuel, is often considered the focal point of the Southwest cuisine movement.
She organized a lunch, and then we all went up there and cooked this lunch, all of us together, which was interesting that we all did it together. It wasn't like my dish, Stephen's dish, Dean's dish. We all did it together as sort of a reflection of the region. And so at that point it started to get kind of rolling. Hey, we can do these events, you know, and gain, at least people will know what you're doing. Then what happened is at some point there's a big shuffling, who knows which way the wind is blowing. And when the dust cleared, there were 5 of us left.
The news media worked alongside the chefs, helping promote the movement as it grew bigger.
I think that the press was a very important part of the whole American cuisine movement, particularly the Southwest Cuisine, Texas cooking one. They sort of pretty much were the ones that got the word out, I guess, you know. And if you think about a restaurant, I think we spend most of our time, for me, I was in the kitchen trying to just hold it together and do things. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go out on tour and give lectures on what we're doing. There was no time for that. So that was the partnership between everyone, that one group would be giving the sermons and the other would be building the church, so to speak.
As the movement picked up, Jim Hightower and the Texas Department of Agriculture reached out to the group to take the Southwest cuisine movement to the next level.
I just imagine that they came to us probably because we were a very loose group at the time, sort of in communication, all with the same idea. Jim Hightower particularly gave it a lot of momentum and then began to sort of open your eyes and ears to what the possibilities were. So I think he was very sort of fundamental to it along the way. He would also arrange events. So I think we all went to San Francisco once and did an event in San Francisco. First night was a reception at Square One restaurant. I think Dean Faring and I, we even played a couple songs. I think we were the entertainment, which was bold, but that's how we were just wild and reckless, you know. Then the next night was another reception where we didn't cook, we just went to it, and that's where the armadillo races were.
Within Texas, events like the Hill Country Food and Wine Festival helped spread the word about Southwest cuisine.
The first one, again, was very unusual than what you would see now, that we did the menu together. It was a little bit of, you know, sort of collaboration, confabulation sort of thing. Each year it got bigger, and it did become sort of the yearly sojourn where everyone came together to sort of check on the status of things in a way. Like if you wanted to see what was going on in Texas and you weren't from here, you'd go to the Hill Country Festival, and then plus they had, you know, on Sunday after there'd be some big picnic outside, and either at the Allers Winery or somewhere else. So you really got to get a feel for the area.
Along with Texas cuisine, the farm-to-table movement picked up momentum as chefs turned to local producers for homegrown ingredients to promote Texas agriculture as well.
Well, I think there was that idea of sort of the closeness of something about the miracle of agriculture and the miracle of cooking were sort of two sides of the same sort of miracle. There is something to the connection between I won't even say the chef, between the cook and the farmer. And a lot of times I'll say, if you can go visit it, see how it's grown, see how much work goes into it, it changes your point of view, your respect for the thing.
Among Texas producers, Mike Hughes of Broken Arrow Ranch personally invited chefs to his ranch to show the work that goes on behind the scenes.
Mike was again one that really sort of emphasized, and I learned a lot from when he took us around Kerrville, the various places, little barbecue places, to get that local sort of sense that there was something here that that gave it a sense of home and locality. We had these sort of chef hunts that we'd all go out there, cook. It was a blast, cook, and to hunt deer. I never been deer hunting before. I just want to see how it worked.
Farmers markets became places where local producers could showcase their items and develop a closer relationship with the people.
The farmers market was sort of really, I don't think, maybe not as much a new thing as a return to how it was, how it used to be, much more direct and much more, a little bit the way we would see it in Europe.
Chef Robert Del Grande carried the support of Texas agriculture to his own restaurant, using local producers at the Annie.
We started, I think, back in the 1980 or so. This older gentleman, who's great, shows up the back door and says, I grow herbs. Do you want to buy fresh herbs? We try to use as many local things as we can. And I'd say not only local sources or things that are grown here, but even local purveyors. I sometimes say that sort of the local product, the local person, the local idea, there's much more, it's much richer than just where was it grown.
However, there can be downfalls to depending on local producers for ingredients.
The difficult part is it's distribution systems, it's timing, and I remember at one point they brought us eggplant, like boxes and boxes of eggplant that were stacked up. We had all this eggplant. I said, "Wow, why so much eggplant?" I said, "Well, it's in season, it's ready now."
Together with other Texas chefs, the TDA and Jim Hightower, Chef Robert Del Grande worked to create a nationwide name for Southwest cuisine, promoting Texas agriculture and wine along the way.
Then I had to think about who opened the door for us, and people did. That's why I think Julia Child, Robert Mondavi, all people like that, everyone would seem like they were opening that door of opportunity for other people, and Mike Hughes as well. But I think everyone along the way that you met, sort of that idea of opening the door to new possibilities is a good one.